Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Sumukrachaye kadantascha kapilo gajakarnakah lambodarascha vikato vigna rajo vinayakah Dhumaketu ganadhyakshah palachandro gajananah Vakratundah surpakarno herambah skandapurvajah Suklambaradaram Vishnum Sasivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannabadanam Dhyayet Sarvavignopasantaye Tatyadvaradavaktradhya Parishadhya Parasvatam Vignam Nignanti Satatam Vishpattenam Tamasraye Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheswaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Satchidananda Rupaya Krishnaya Akrishtakarine Namo Vedanta Vedhyaya Gurave Buddhi Sakshine Krishna Dvaipaya Namjatam Sarvabhutahite Ratam Vedanta Bhaskaram Bande Samadhi Nilayam Munim Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. With Swami's wish, let us continue. We came up to Slokam number 16, Sargam 3, Adhyayam 8. Maitrya is describing the Sargam, the beginning of creation, before he goes into the Visarga, which was the question asked by Vidura. Now we also came up to the point where sitting on this Brahma was seated in the center of the lotus bud, and he saw nothing in front of him, absolutely nothing. So he turned his head around and looked at all the directions. Therefore, by doing that, he developed 4 phases, 1 phase for each direction. We came up to that point number 16. Now, in 17, Brahma was seeing the waters all around being beaten to succession of waves. And these waves, the winds, are the one that follow, that attend to the dissolution. See, when things disappear, there is a certain disturbance associated with that, isn't it? Disturbance is the wrong word in education, and in impulse that happens with it. And but Brahma, looking at all this, he did not understand anything at all about himself or about the lotus, and of course, which was holding the Loka Padmam, is now just a bud. It has not bloomed yet, right? So it is containing all the worlds, the whole prapancha within it. And so he did not understand anything at all. What is my job? Who am I? What am I supposed to do? But the karma, the impulse to karma is already born. So the tendency, because the whole creation came out of the rajasic impulse, that's the one that pushed the impulses out of Bhagavan's Nabhi, that materialized in the form of a prapancham, the Loka Padmam, right? Now, Padmam, again, it's not a physical lotus flower. At the moment we say lotus, my mind immediately imagines a lotus flower. It's a lotus bud, immediately it imagines a lotus bud. No, we have to think of it in an extremely subtle form. In our own mind, before something, an imagination occurs, before a thought occurs, it is in the form of a bud only. Okay? And then when it blooms, it becomes a thought, and then the creation happens, right? And then whatever we imagine, we create. So now here, this is what Slokam number 17 is talking about. Tasmat yuganta satana avadhurna jala urbi chakrate salilat virudham upasritaha kancham u lokatattvam na atmanam adha avidate avidevaha. Tasmat yuganta sasana avadhurna jala urvi chakrate salilat virudham upasritaha kancham u lokatattvam na atmanam adha avidate avidevaha. Now from there, tasmat, from there, Yuganta, because now this is a beautiful thing, how this creation is described. Please understand. We'll note one thing. in case if you've not already noted that. Creation is not at the beginning of time. Please understand, it is not something that creation happened and prior to that there was nothing at all. You've gone there. How this whole narration begins with the end of the previous yuga, end of the previous creation cycle, right? So it was there before. And then in this current Svetavaraha Kalpam, there is an example. Now what happens? That's the way we have to look at it, okay? It is not like you can fix a point and then say, creation started from there. No, it was there before, except it was held in suspension. And then it materialized itself, right? That's how we need to appreciate in terms of understanding. And knowing that, of course, is impossible with the way that our mind works right now, because this is beyond the ability of the mind to grasp and beyond the ability of the intellect to understand, right? We have to go beyond. And it has to be experienced only in a different pathway, okay? Not through mind and intelligence. So, you've gone there. At the end of the previous yuga, okay, Swasana, Avadhurna. Now, the Swasana, swasam means immediately breath, isn't it? It's not correct to say it. And please understand, swasam is swa-asam, right? Which means where Bhagavan himself is seated, right? That is the meaning. Now, then we say swasam, we all know immediately that's the breathing in and out. Now, if we have viswasam in the swasam that I have, then my life is made. The faith, viswasam means faith. And faith in what? Viswasam. That V means one who is present everywhere, all expansive. And a visation, a supreme entity, a special type of swasam, where I should, which is my own, where my residence is, which is Bhagavan. If I have faith in that we call it faith in English. So it sounds very pedantic, very pedestrian when I say faith. But faith is nothing but being aware of the truth of the existence of Bhagavan everywhere, living with him all the time. Right? That is Viswasam. So now Swasena, it is speaking in English language, the breath of destruction. In other words, when there is an impulse to disappear happens, right? Which is what we call a dissolution, end of yugam and all that. All the manifested things have now disappeared. They're all in abeyance. So that, along with that, there's an impulse. And that impulse is that swasena, he is calling that. And what is the avadhurna and urbi chakrate, jala urbi chakrate, avadhurna. Because of that impulse, there was movement. Avadhurna means there was some movement. How was it moving? It was moving in the jalam. This is the cosmic waters. Now, cosmic water is not H2O. Again, in English, we say water, mind immediately pictures water, which is H2O. It is not that at all. It is not a physical thing. Okay, please understand. It is apam. Apam in Sanskrit, they call it. Okay. Now, here, as we discussed earlier, the cosmic water, the waters that are present even now, today, at this place where you are, and it is always present, even though I don't see it, is the ocean of love. Okay, ocean of prema. That we are all swimming and immersed in that ocean of prema only, both inside and outside. So it's extremely subtle, subtler than subtlest. Okay, anaro, aniyon, it says, so subtler than the subtlest. That is what each one of us are, okay? And that manifests as swasam, as we call it the life force, which then moves the physical air. Please understand the difference between life force, the pranan, and the air, vayu, okay? The pranan is the one that makes air from within my body go out and come back in. What is it? When I leave the breath out, which is the pranan, what makes me take the breath back in? We call it life force. That is actually pranan. Okay, that is the swasam. So that it's in the jalam, you look around, the whole ocean of prema. Now urbi chakrate, the the disturbance of the dissolution was showing in circular waves. Okay, then salilate is the water. Okay, virudham. Now Brahma was seated on a lotus flower. All around there is a huge ocean. He has looked all directions and couldn't see anything at all except these waves are moving. There's a disturbance that he could see that come from the end of the disappearance of whatever was there before. And Virudham, he was situated on that. He was placed on that. And Kancham, U means certainly, and Kancham, without in any which way, and he couldn't, not even the slightest. Lokatattvam, the Lokatattvam, the truth of this lokam, of this, what we call the prapancham. Okay, it is na atmanam ardha. The kanchan means the sitting. Virudhan upasrataha. Virudham upasrataha kancham. Virudham means he was situated on, seated on, and upasrataha, upa-asrataha, protected by, under the shade, because shade is not physical shade, under the protection, because you feel comfort, very comfortable with that is shade, right? Upasrataha, kancham, the lotus flower, and looking at U means he was absolutely astonished. The auscharium, we call it, right? Flabbergasted. And not afraid at all. Not the fear comes later. Okay, now it'll come in next 2 or 3 slokas. But here it's one of wonderment. What is this? The Lokatattvam, the principle, the truth of what is it is there. What is it that is there? That one, na atmanam, or by its of his own self, he couldn't figure out, he couldn't understand, he did not know what is it that is happening all around. And there was really nothing except the waves are moving, and he could see the lotus flower, he was seated on it, and he couldn't understand about himself also, atmanam, what is this? So, and then he was thinking, this Adideva refers to Brahma, Adha avidate. So, na adha avidate. He could not properly or clearly understand. Okay, avidate means to understand. Vedam we say, right? So, avidate means to understand. Adha means perfectly. Na adha avidate. Adha na avidate. Whichever way you say it, he could not understand clearly. What is the truth of all this? What about me? Nothing of this he could understand. Tasmat yuganta satana avadurna jala urbi chakrate salilat virudham upasrataha kancham u lokatattvam na atmanam adha avitate adideva. Now, number 18. Now, see, the interesting thing is, Brahma, again remember what the rishis have taught us. So to be able to understand, at least appreciate a little bit of the majesty and the magnificence and of what is being described here, to understand at least a glimpse of it, okay? And we must seek the guidance of the elders. We see the guidance of teachers who really know, right? Because I am not Vidura, neither are you. So Maitrya says something, Vidura understands. But for us, we need people who know the truth, who have experienced the Satyam, the truth, the Bhagavan, been one with Bhagavan. And those people, and what they say, and this is what now I'm going to take you through. Okay? Brahma is the word Adidevaha. We said the previous one who was born by himself, right? Self-born, right? All the things we saw earlier. Brahma. The word, it means most expansive, something that is huge, gigantic. Okay, that is what it means. Now, the rishis also tell us that monomulam idam jagat. Right? That's a true statement coming from experience. It is only from the mind the whole prapancham has come. We call it Brahma in one part, but it's actually the mind. Right? And the mind is nothing but bundle of desires. Remember that, right? The primal desire was there from Bhagavan, separate myself from myself. Then the job of creation, further creation was delegated to the mind or to what you call Brahma or whatever. So now in this slokam, we are going to say Brahma started now thinking because he couldn't understand. So naturally, the impulse to act was there. Karma was already there, right? We saw that. Along with that, it came. That's how the creation begins. So everything is divine. Then the job of the mind is to think, and the thought comes from desire. It's not the other way around. It's all every thought arises from a desire, and here is desire to know. Right? What is there? That's what each one of us have. Even now we have that, right? Desire to know. That is the chit aspect of the divinity that is present in us. That is why Satchit Ananda, the chit, the knowledge of Bhagavan, what we call as knowledge, the jnanam, the jnana swarupa that Bhagavan is, that aspect of that is shining through each one of us in the quest to know. I want to know how, why, what, when. The quest to know is the clearest manifestation, the proximity of Bhagavan to us, if you look at it that way. And Brahma was no different. Just manas, what we call manas in a simple way, no different. So what he did in Slokam 18, now, who am I having my staying on this lotus? Okay. Where from? This thing has sprung up. It's such a beautiful thing. No, he didn't call it as lotus himself, right? I mean, the name was not there at that time. But the entity, what is it? Where does it come from? And it's coming from all these waters. It's right there in the waters. So, what is its base? What does it support? It must have something on which it is standing, right? Something being supported that. It must certainly have a basis. This is what he started thinking. Okay? Kaha yeshaha yah asau aham. Kaha yeshaha. Well, let me read the full slokam and then I'll take it to Patangas. Kaha yeshaha yah asau aham. Abja prishte yetat kutaha va abjam ananyat apsu asti hi adastate kinchana yetat adishtitam yatra satanubhavyam. Question. Kaha yesha yah asau aham. Yah from which? Kaha what? Yesha this. Aham me. The ahamkaram is always there, right? Again we saw that earlier. Bhagavan separated that aham is always present. So this is a very important thing to understand. Aham is divine. The consciousness that aham, this, right? That consciousness, that awareness. When the ekoham, Bhagavan himself says, ekoham, aham ekaha, right? When Bhagavan himself speaks, and so that aham is a very, very important thing to understand. That feeling of consciousness and awareness each one of us have. I am, I. That is divinity, divine. The problem comes in where I place that aham, ahamkaram. The moment I associate with that I with my body or with my mind, with the mind or with the body, that's where the problem comes. Instead, as Bhagavan himself teaches, Swami teaches so beautifully, aham is the Atma, the entity within and without. Now, this is my body, this is my mind. That my belongs to the Atma, right? If you do a paradigm shift like that, then you are on the spiritual path. So here, the feeling of Kaha Aham, who am I? First question, this is asking. Abja Prishta, seated on this lotus, Yetat, this, Kutaha va, there's so many questions. Kutaha, where from? Va, and this Abjam, this lotus, Ananyat Apsu, from where from this lotus flower, Ananyat means also, otherwise, in addition to, what we say in English, okay? Apsu on the water. So who am I? I don't understand, don't know anything about it. And where is this lotus thing coming on the water? Where from has it come? Astihi adastat. So he certainly adastat asti. That must be support must definitely be there for this. Kinchana, for this lotus. This kinchana adastat asti. This lotus must have a support. Yetat kinchana, this lotus adastat asti. He certainly must have a support. On which adhishtitam yatra, on which it is situated. Okay? Sata, automatically, no bhavyam. So there must be there must be something downwards below this lotus, on must be supported on that. Isn't it? Therefore, has it come from? That's the way he started thinking. That thought came because of his desire to know. Kaha aham, who am I? Question, the desire to know, a thought process comes. Okay? Clearest example given in this. You can apply this to your life. Every thought that you have, sit for a second, analyze. There will be a desire before that. A thought would have arisen from the desire. Then it goes on continuously. Okay, thought is not continuous. It is discrete. Always remember that, okay? And so, kaha yesha, yaha asau aham abja prishta yetat, kutaha va abjam ananyat apsu, astihi adastadi kinchana yetat, adishtitam yatra, satanu bhavyam. Sata means automatically it must be supported. That's the way he was thinking. Now, number 19. Now, so naturally, now the aham, the awareness of aham is there. Now, but who am I? He doesn't know. Right? The impulse to act is already present. Bhagavan, everything has come from Bhagavan's navel. Nabhi has come. This is what our mind operates. Okay, the mind has come from Bhagavan's Nabhi only, which is our mind has arisen from my hridayam. Simple. My seat of love is where it has arisen from. Please personalize this. As far as possible, rightly or wrongly personalize it, you will get closer and closer to the truth. So, number 19, next, naturally, what is he going to do? His karma, the artistic tendency is there, right? On which this whole effulgence, everything came out of the Nabhi. Therefore, the impulse to act is automatic, isn't it? So what he does in Slokam number 19, thinking this way, he tried to go into the depths of the waters because this lotus must have a support. So he wanted to find out. How did he go? He entered through the hollow of the stalk of the stem of the lotus bud, which is hollow. So he entered through that and to find out where the support is, but could not find the end, even though he went far away. Far away. Why? Same thing happens to you and me even now today. I want to seek my origin. What is my real stand? What is my real self? I cannot do that with my mind. Impossible. I have to, not through the process of inquiry and process of thoughts and process of analysis, that's what I meant, but through the mind you should. When the manayeva karanam manushyaam moksha bandhayoho. It is another teaching from from rishis. So only with the mind, I can, the moment I turn it toward my hridayam, which is God, which is Bhagavan, then I can exit and my freedom comes. But through the process of intellectual inquiry, impossible. Because it is beyond apita, beyond intelligence and mind and everything else. So he could not find. It is like all the scientific experiments we do. They all have a limit. They all have limitation. Beyond that, we cannot go. And as Einstein said, at the edge of the discovery of this thing, and what this teaches beautifully, and the scientists who discovered DNA was beautifully said. Jacques Monod, if I remember the name correctly, standing on the edge of this, he's wondering, is this cosmos or is this chaos? There is something beyond this. Einstein has spoken about there is a divine hand, because the intelligence can take you only so far. So he tried to analyze, went through the stem of the lotus, could not find the end of it. Saha itam udvikshya tat abjat nala nadibihi antaha jalam antarjalam avivesa na arvag gataha tat karanala, okay, tat karanala nabim vichintvan tat avindata ajaha saha itam udvikshya tat abja nala nadibihi antaha jalam avivesa na arvagataha tat karanala nabim vichintvan tat avindata ajaha. Ajaha means one who's not, generally we say ajaha, one who's without birth, one who was not born. In this case here, it talks about the self-born, okay? That's because it also offered to saha, the very first word, which is saha, that Brahma, itam, thinking like this, the way, who am I, and where this lotus has come from, it must have a support, etc. Udvikshya, contemplating like this, itam this way, udvikshya, thinking, contemplating, and all that. Tat abja nala nadibihi. Tat abja, that lotus. Again, it is very subtle. The mind, if you really look at it, there is a subtle lotus that we can feel, that which, while living in this world, there is a part in us that really does not live in this world, right? Isn't it? We can feel that. That each one of us, I know, can feel it. Okay, however much I'm engrossed in it, the worries, whatever else I have, the back of my mind, as we say, there is something that I'm also experiencing that part of me is not part of all the thing that is happening, right? The witness thing, whatever you want to call it. That shelter, that thing there is the abjam, is the padmam aspect, okay? That we have talked about earlier. So, tat abja nala nadi vihi, the entering through the stem, the stalk of that, he has not entered yet, through the stem, the stalk of that abjam, which means the awareness I have of not to be attached to things are temporary. So when I enter that way, the feeling of detachment, vairagyam, as we say in Sanskrit, okay? Vairagyam is a good word. So that is what he did. He entered through that, antarjalam, into the water, okay? Avivesa, he entered. Then arva gataha. Arva gataha. In spite of going inside, which means what? Inquiring, seeking on a scientific, rational basis, seeking through one's intelligence, okay, understanding ability, okay, arvagataha, in spite of entering that, tat karanala, that stem of the lotus, okay, I cannot, it's very common in your life and my life. We read about detachment. And detachment means mind tries to understand it, right? And intelligence tries to understand it. and you try to follow that. Impossible. It will not get you anywhere, because detachment, we cannot detach from anything. I approach this Padam aspect of our life on the basis of intelligence. That is what this, that Karanala, that Nabi, that stem of the lotus flower, Nabhim, the navel, the originating point of this lotus, which is where each one of our comes from, that origin of Bhagavan. We call it lotus feet, lotus Nabi. It really doesn't matter. Bhagavan, they are all one and the same. And and he could not see it. Okay? Nabi, he could not see. So, Vichinvan, and then he was thinking about it. And once he could not, he tried so much, he still could not see. Then he thought, Vichinvan, what did he think? He said, Tat Avindata. Then he understood that it cannot be known this way. Whatever I've tried to do, I still didn't know it. Therefore, it cannot be known the way that I've tried. How many times it is happening to us, right? We're trying to solve a naughty problem. We only go through it, and it doesn't become clear. Then it hits you, that's not the way. That's exactly what happened. It's what being described here. Okay? Saha ittam uddikshya tat abjanala nadibihi antarjalam avivesa na arvagataha tat karanala nabhim vichidvanne tat avindata ajaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Sante Sante Sante. Harihi Om.